Onwards and upwards, as we say, because it's coming home. But we aren't going to start there. We're going to start with the UEFA Euro 2020 semi-finals. Italy, Spain, first game of the semis. It ended 1-1 and went to penalties. Italy had scored in the 60th minute and Spain in the 80th. How did the penalties turn out, Sean?
Well, they weren't great, were they? Let's be
No.
honest. We've seen better
Should I should
penalties.
I should I say who
Um,
scored? I just said 60 and 8. It was Chiesa and Morata for Italy, Spain, respectively. But penalties, let's go through them. Um, Spain bottled it. We will say that Spain were probably the better team in this game, which was quite a shock considering how well Italy have been and how praised they were. I believe Italy had their first penalty saved, and then kind of went downhill because Spain really just bottled it. They really just bottled it. I don't really know what else to say.
yeah,
A lot of people have Italy as their favourites, and I mean a lot of Europe probably have Italy as their favourites. We'll talk about a bit of backlash later on, and we'll put our opinions on it. But not all too a surprising result if you don't take the game into account by itself. I'll read through a bit of a few of the stats here because it's insane. Italy had only 7 shots with 4 on target, while Spain had 16 shots with only 5 of those on target. Um, they're a bit more clinical, maybe a different result, but they had Morata playing. So, yeah. Possession wise, Italy were completely dominated. They only had 29% possession, with Spain getting 71%. The passes were also insane 387 passes for Italy, with 908 passes for Spain. Pass accuracy 74%, 88%. Fouls were pretty even. We won't go through the rest, but Spain look to have dominated this game quite a lot, um, but the scoreline clearly doesn't reflect that. It sets up an interesting final, as we'll get on to. Spain simulated a few times in this game. They did have a bit of a roll on the floor a couple times, and if we're going to talk about simulation, we might as well talk about it for both games. Um, but yeah, Italy's going through. There's not much we can talk about here, but we can talk about England quite a lot more because a lot came from that game. Um, England versus Denmark. The first goal came from Damsgaard from a free kick, which I will state right now before we talk about penalties later on. The free kick was so soft that anyone complaining about the penalty being given should also complain about the free kick being given. I'm not having it. I don't think it was a penalty later on, which we'll get to, but
also, this was the first free kick scored in this competition.
yeah, and it was a very good free kick. Although Pickford probably should have done a bit better.
Yeah, he should have got his T-Rex arms stretched before this game because it's the first like mistake he's made for England, really. Not that it was much of a mistake. It was just that
To be fair, he hasn't
uh,
had a lot
most
of.
of the no, most of the goalkeepers though, from where the ball was positioned or where it went in the goal, it wasn't right in the corner. Probably would have been able to get there. He did get a slight fingertip on there, but nothing else. Um, so you could argue that keeper should have done better, but it was from the position it was still a great free kick, a great strike.
Agree.
You can't take that away from Doncaster at all.
The second goal came from an own goal, actually. Simon Kjaer, I think his name is pronounced, scored in the 39th minute for England. Put it in his own net. Came from, oh, was it Shaw or Saka? It might have been Saka
It's Saka's cross from the right hand
across
side.
to Sterling, but Sterling didn't get a touch on it. It was put in
This
his own
was a
net.
minute after Sterling put a sitter right at the Kasper Schmeichel.
Straight in its
He
net.
had the entire goal to aim for and picked out exactly where Schmeichel was.
Sterling does disappoint. I will say here as well. a lot of people were saying Sterling was man of the match for them. I massively disagree. I don't think he's clinical enough. I think if you. We had 10. I'll go through the stats later, but England had 10 shots on target in this game, yet we only won 2-1. Um, if and a lot of those came from Sterling. Kane was involved, but he wasn't as involved as he should have been. Um, if any other player, I wouldn't say any other player, but if a player like, I don't know, a Sancho or Rashford or something were given those chances, half of the time they probably would have put it in the back of the net. Maybe Rashford might have bottled that one that Sterling bottled, but I feel that we would be scoring more goals if Southgate wasn't so reliant on Sterling starting games. And I'm not gonna say I'm right and he's wrong, because clearly it's working. Clearly starting Sterling's working. I'm gonna hold my hands up and say no. But if I was in Southgate's position, I wouldn't be starting Sterling every single game. I wouldn't have. I would have taken him off maybe in extra time, because why would you make your star player, if he's your star player, play the full however many minutes? Like, for he didn't do anything in the extra time. He didn't do anything really in the second half either. Well, he did something in extra time, which we'll talk about. During the game, though, Harry Kane did get taken down in the box, which is another point of controversy. It should have been a penalty. I will stay here. This one should have been a penalty. Do you not think?
No, I don't know. No,
Well,
I didn't
I'm
think
going
it
to
was
put it
from the
like
start.
this: if they gave the free kick and they gave the penalty later on, why was this not a penalty, and why was that a penalty? Like it's just a refereeing malarkey. I think the referee was terrible in this game for both sides. Um, Especially the one incident was the Maguire incident where he got booked for jumping for the ball.
Yeah, for attempting to head the ball. I
he
think
had he had
was
every right
the
to go for it as well. He didn't swing his elbow into him. He
so his
just
arm
jumped
was
with his
up,
arm up.
but you need to do that to be able to jump. Like you can't expect people to pencil jump and try and win a header. It's not going to happen.
It would
Like,
have
you
been
can't take jumping and heading out of the game.
it would have been a bigger deal if oh, didn't mean to knock that. You got it's not an earthquake. It's just me. Um, if it wasn't the semi-final to final, like if it was earlier stages in the competition, Maguire would have been banned for the next game. He would have been suspended for one game, but luckily this yellow card did nothing, so it wasn't a big deal. But we get to extra time. England were dominating at this point. They were dominating most of the second half as well. Denmark had a good run in the first half. The game was pretty even the first half, but they kind of capitulated towards the end of the game, and then the goal was coming. But Harry Kane, well, Sterling got brought down in the box. Point of controversy. We'll get to it after we talk about the goal. Harry Kane was to take the penalty kick. Everyone's like, okay, Harry Kane, probably our best penalty taker. Obviously, he's going to score it. He didn't. Schmeichel did have a green laser pointer pointed at his face, but it didn't stop him from saving this penalty. But he couldn't save the follow-up, which Kane put in the back of the net. Very great play by Kane. Poor from the Denmark defenders to not have supported their goalkeeper soon enough. They just kind of let Kane go for it. But elation for England fans like ourselves. This gave England the win, and we are now in the first ever Euros finals that we've ever been in, and the first final since 1966, the 1966 World Cup, which is incredible for England. And I have to say, do you think the England team deserve it? Before we talk about the penalty incident, before we talk about the crowd and everything, do you think England as a team deserve it?
Yes. I think they've played incredibly well. I would like to hold my hands up and say I apologise to Gareth Southgate, because there are many times in the previous games where I completely disagreed with what he's done, the teams he started, the subs he's made or didn't make. But hands up, he's got the job done. Like Obviously, it was close in the semi-final, going to extra time. But yeah, he's done it. He's done a fantastic job, and you can't argue with what he's done. Uh, and I think the team has played really well. I think it shows, or it definitely says a lot that um, like we're not. But I think it says a lot that there's a discussion that can be had over who plays in this final, over who starts. Because I think the two midfielders, Rice and Phillips, especially Phillips, have been outstanding in how they've played, and the fact that they are keeping a Premier League and Champions League winning captain out of this team says a lot about how well they've played. I think I would have liked to have seen a bit more rotation up front with some players, just to basically see who would give up our best opportunity. But we didn't get that. And two of them who have played have done the job really well and obviously got the results to where we are. And I genuinely think we have a great chance of actually winning the final. It'll be tough. Italy are a great team, but I think it might actually be a bit easier for us to play a team like Italy because we know what to expect against them. We know how they're going to set up, that they do the same every game. Whereas if Spain were to win, they've been a bit more inconsistent in this tournament. So I don't think we'd be as certain as to what we're going to get out of them. Whereas at least I think we can plan a bit more for this. But I think the players have done really well. They've been amazing, and you can't fault them at all.
Yeah, I totally agree. I won't go into as much detail because you pretty much said everything we need to say. But England as a team, I think they thoroughly deserved it. Um, and we'll get straight into the controversy here. There were multiple England fans, or a minority of England fans, I should say, booed the Denmark national anthem, which was such a shame considering um, all of the stuff like Christian Eriksen, all the stuff before the game with all the players clapping and all the nice things England team have done. They signed a England shirt with Eriksen's name on it and gave it to the Denmark team. Mason Mount after the game gave his shirt away as well, which was very nice. Um, the team were like applauding fans, doing everything. The team themselves were really nice, but there's always that minority, and I think it's because it's England. People have really amplified it. People have taken it out of control, and I'm not condoning this behaviour. We didn't condone it with the crying girl incident, but we did say it had probably been taken a bit too far. But again, same thing. Um, if you're gonna do anything, I it's a bit ridiculous. The laser pointer was a joke, and whoever did that should be banned for life. I 100% agree with that. Um, that should never happen. The booing again, disrespectful, shouldn't have happened. But we're saying it like other teams haven't done it. Didn't Italy do it against Spain?
I don't know, if I'm
I'm
honest.
pretty sure Italy did it against Spain. Could be wrong. I don't want to try and throw other teams in the mix. But this isn't just an England thing. And while it did happen in this game, this isn't something that just happens in England. They don't boo every team. It's I don't really understand why they did it, but they did. And I think a fine is right. Just like UEFA have fined England um, for the crowd booing, for the laser pointer, and for a firework incident which happened, which I have no idea
Didn't know
about.
about that.
Yeah,
No,
it's people let off fireworks fans, and England are fining I think €500 per firework, which is weird. But this is a minority of fans. Every football team, every club around the world gets it. If we want to talk about, a lot of people call England fans arrogant. Have you not seen the media in other countries? Italy try their media is ridiculous. France tore into Switzerland before getting pummeled. Well, not pummeled, but getting beaten by them on penalties. All these countries get all of this. All of this shit happens there, but when it's England, just because everyone hates us because of Brexit, because of everything, it's amplified more. You've got the Scots doing it. Scots changing their flags to Denmark. Irish doing it. You know, and it's as someone who you know doesn't have anything against other countries, love Scotland, love Ireland. You know, it's a bit of a shame. It's just the way social media works, the way everyone's going on about it. And I won't disagree that some England fans have been disrespectful. Of course they have. But to put that against, oh, England don't deserve to go through because of, why do England not deserve to go through? Because of a minority of fans. You could say that about any football team. I don't think that holds up. I think what some England fans did was wrong, but the team themselves deserve to go through. Now let's talk about in-game controversy. The penalty. I don't. It doesn't matter what happened. To be honest, it could have been a penalty. Could have not been. We don't really know. Like the
I,
angles were shit. It was. He did get touched. If you watch it back, watch
yeah,
like
I
he
think
got
that's what
touched
it is.
by both
There was
players.
definite contact, but I
Yeah,
think it was a bit soft. Um, Especially if it was the second contact he went down on, I think I would have thought fair enough.
it was the
Obviously,
first.
the reason he went down is because he started going down after the first one, which I thought was very soft. I don't think there was much contact. But obviously, by the time you're already starting to go down, when you then get hit from the side like that, you're never going to stay on your feet anyway. Um, Whether he would have been able to if he hadn't have already started going down, I don't know. But there was contact. But I do think it was soft, personally.
And it was the referee's decision. A lot of people online, I know a lot of them are trolls, but people were saying, "Oh, England wouldn't have gone through without the referees." We had so many decisions against us in this game. Like we said, the Maguire one, the
Uh,
free kick. You know,
I think the only thing I will say is that I think with a decision like that, I was a bit disappointed that they didn't make the ref go over and look and make the decision instead of being told. I think he should
the
have gone over to the
problem
screen
was,
to have a look himself and make the decision. That's why I think we don't see enough with VAR and what should happen more
but the
often.
problem was, and it's something that's still being debated. Everyone else is going to say, "Oh, it wasn't a penalty," but that's just because of bias against us, and we're always going to say, for the most part, either, "Well, you're saying it wasn't in your eyes," but we don't really know. We're saying we're on the fence. We don't know, and that's what VAR went through. It wasn't a clear and obvious error that would change the result. The ref blew for a penalty. You can't change that result unless you either go look for yourself or if VAR straight up
But I
tells
still
you.
think it would have been more definitive as well if you let the on-field referee go and make that decision as opposed to someone else in a box with a screen so further away. I think with a big decision like that, especially in the timing of it, there's an extra time and the impact that it would have on the game. Something like that should go into the hands of the referee who goes over and has a look.
Yeah,
And then I
I
think it
agree.
gives a bit more of a definitive answer to it for everyone.
I definitely agree the referee should have gone over. And I feel that way for most decisions with VAR these days. The referee should always go and have a look. Whether we get
Well, I'm
some
not saying for
technology
every
that
game,
gets some, like, not everything, but every major decision, like a
but
penalty,
anything
like
like
a
that
goal.
that changes a game, the situation of a game, especially when it's level, it can
Yeah.
mean someone go ahead and then obviously win the game, and in this situation go through to a final. Then definitely the on-field referee should be looking at this.
But I'll put this to you. Um, do you think if the referee had gone and looked at that, he would have changed his decision?
I don't think so
No, neither
because he
do
would
I.
have seen the contact. I think he would have stuck with it because I don't think that was enough to overturn it
Hmm.
because there was contact.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. And that's where the problem lies. Football is a game, well, it's a game of skill, it's also a game of luck. There have been countless amounts of games where there's been luck in play. It doesn't matter what tournament, what competition. There's probably been, I don't remember every game in this tournament, the Euros, but there's probably been a bit of luck here and there that have got teams through and a bit of luck that have knocked people out. This is one of those occasions. Are we upset about it? No, obviously not. Why are we going to be upset about it? Is everyone else upset about it? Yeah, they don't like us. What can we say? We're not here to please. But it's a bit ridiculous how much this has blown up. Like, I get the fan issues. The fan issues are definitely a problem. Again, they're a minority. There's how many fans in that stadium, and I bet not even a quarter of them were booing or pointing laser pointers. It was the small minority, which you get everything. Every football team around the world probably has that, but the team themselves, did they deserve to go through? I'll ask it one more time. Yes, in my opinion. Yes, for you, I assume. We'll go through some stats. We'll talk about it. England had 20 shots with 10 on target. Denmark only had 6 shots with 3 on target. England dominated possession 59% to 41%. Passing 728 passes for England and 534 passes for Denmark. I mean, the goal was coming. Would it have happened without the penalty? We don't know. We don't know anything. It could have gone to a penalty shootout. No idea. But we did get the penalty. Was the penalty deserved? You can argue that England probably deserved to score. Whether it should have been a penalty, up for debate. Anyone who's against England is probably going to straight up say no, even though they don't know. People are going after Raheem Sterling, saying he's diving. You don't know. Maybe he did get knocked off balance. You can say it's not a penalty, sure, but you don't know. It's one of those that, while it could have gone either way, and it's like the penalty decision I was saying should have been a penalty before for Kane. You were saying it shouldn't have been, or was debatable at least. It could have gone either way, but I'm firmly on the. He stood on Kane's foot. He's put his foot in front of Kane. So, but then it's like, I think my issue with this whole situation, with everyone coming after Sterling, is that if you're gonna say no, it wasn't a penalty, then erase Denmark's goal as well, because it wasn't a free kick. Like, why is no one bringing that fact up? You know, I'm not trying to be a biased England fan here, but I'm seeing the bias in everyone's opinion. While I don't think it was a penalty, the extra time one, I will argue that it was never going to get changed anyway. But did we deserve the penalty? Probably. Did Denmark deserve the free kick? Ask anyone else. Probably too. You never know. It's just the way football works. Everyone gets a little bit of luck. Denmark had a bit of luck with their free kick. They had a bit of luck that it went in the goal in the first place anyway. We had a bit of luck with the penalty, and we had a little bit of luck with the rebound as well. That's the way football works. I don't think it should be a bigger problem as it is. If you're going to call out England for diving, call out every team that does it. Call out Italy. Call out anyone else that's been doing it during this tournament, because it's very hypocritical to be doing it. And I know a lot of people just do it to troll, but there are people that just genuinely hate England that will just try and put everyone down. Just let England enjoy something. You might not like us, you might not like the fans, but most of us are just people that have never seen England in a final in our lifetime. Unless you're in your 60s, 70s, you have never seen England in a final ever. And it's a moment that a lot of people will cherish. No matter how we got there, the team were very respectful towards Denmark. Most of the fans were very respectful towards them. Minority weren't, and the minority deserve to be shamed, but don't shame a whole country for being like everyone else. That is my rant over. I feel like I ranted enough there. But we've got the final Sunday, 8 p.m. Wembley Stadium, England versus Italy. It's going to be an interesting game. I don't want to say it's going to be a great game, because we never know. But
I think it might be a boring one goal decider.
And
I don't think it's going to be fast paced.
Are
goals
you
everywhere.
sticking with Italy, or are you saying it's coming home?
I want it to come home, but I still think I'm not going to deny that Italy aren't a great team, and haven't done really well. It's kind of one of those where my heart says I want England to win. My head just is always there. We never do it, so why is it going to change now?
We've never been this far. So
true, it's true.
Oh well, for me, England, it is coming home. And I'm not just saying that, I'm saying that in the sense of I think Southgate has shown during this tournament that he's the perfect manager for this game. I think he's just a very defensive minded manager. He'll go for that one goal and he'll try and keep it. Um, and I think England have the talent, and if Southgate lets them, they have the talent to score goals as well. They haven't really showed it all that much except against Ukraine, but I think while it could go either way, I think England are taking this home for their first Euros win ever. So yeah, I will bring up a few things as well while we're here before we end it off. A lot of people don't know what It's Coming Home is about. We get a lot of Americans who are very confused about what it's about. Should we explain it, Sean? Should we give
But
the context? Because I feel
all it is, it's
it's
not
just a
that
song.
difficult to be honest.
It's just a
It's just
song.
a song.
It's literally a
It's
song that was
the
yeah
1998 song, 96, sorry, it was
96, and
originally
it was
released.
used in 98 as well for the World
Yeah,
Cup.
by David Baddiel, Frank Skinner, and the Lightning Seeds, called Three Lions. And of course, the song is "It's Coming Home." Football's coming home.
And it has nothing to do with a trophy because a lot of people were like hyping up Kasper Schmeichel, saying, why are they saying it's coming home? They've never won it." It's not about the
It's
trophy coming home, it's about football itself. We're playing
and
in
it's
a
also
final at
because
Wembley.
and it's also that the rules as we know it for association football were created in England. The sport that
Yeah.
we know of football was, and the rules that are played was created in England.
Of course,
So that's why
we're not
football
saying
is
the
coming home.
concept was created in England. Obviously,
But the set
the
rules
set
that is
rules,
used around the world were
yeah.
originally drafted in the UK.
A lot of people just don't understand it. All they do and they just want to troll. So don't get it confused. We're not saying we're going to win every tournament. It's just become the song
We
for
are,
we are going to win every tournament. Yes, we heard it here first.
yeah.
But it's just the song that everyone uses. Um, I'm bringing this up because Taika Waititi put something on Twitter like not that long ago, about an hour ago, saying I think it was a satirical article, but I don't know if he thought he was being serious or not. But it said team who sings "It's Coming Home" plays in tournament that doesn't allow this other team, like other teams in, and it was a picture of Brazil. And I was sitting here like, it's the Euros. They play in Copa America. You have your own tournament. Is he trying to troll? What's happening here? I thought it'd be like, just in case people didn't realize, it's coming home doesn't mean that. um, but yeah, we'll end it on that. We'll end it on it's coming home. That is all.
It is coming.
It is coming home.